of rising emissions and go to a path of decreasing emissions within the next 10 to 15 years to still have a chance of making that. And if you let the warming run not to 2 degrees but to 3 degrees, you run a high chance of losing the Greenland ice sheet, for example, with all that sea level rise, etc. So I think, no, we cannot wait. We have to act now.
I was just going to say I admire how calm you are saying all this, and I would like to ask how frustrated you are by the results of the latest climate conference in Poznan just a few weeks ago, where many environmental groups have said that nothing really has been changed, or no real change has been started with what's been resolved there.
Yeah, I actually was in Poznan, but only for a day. But yeah, it's frustrating. In a way, it was expected, though, that Poznan would not really make great progress because the situation is in a state of limbo with the US administration changing over. They still had a delegation from, of course, the old US administration there, which still tried to play their game of obstructing progress, etc. And yeah, everybody is really waiting for the Copenhagen conference next year, next December. If that doesn't give a breakthrough, then we're in real trouble.
Isn't it important then to raise awareness, to really... Isn't it important then to raise awareness and start campaigning now so that Copenhagen shows real results?
Go for it. Yeah.
Talk about positive action tomorrow in the new lightning talks section.
You didn't talk about the impact of the heating on the heating system of the planet, because I mean most of our regions are heated by the streams over the oceans. So what is the impact of rise of temperature over the Gulf Stream, for example? Because you have once you have heating, you have more dense salty water, layers of salty water that constitute the Gulf Stream, so that should have an impact on how the planet is heated. And my second question is, in the movie of Al Gore, he shows that some glaciations happen quite quickly, like in a period of 10 years, and, due to some big chunk of ice that goes into the Gulf Stream and blocks the heating system. So I want to know more about this.
Okay, that's actually my main area of research, and I could give a 2-hour lecture on that, but I'm not. I just try and give you the 1-minute answer. The most likely thing during this century is that the North Atlantic current, which is the extension of the Gulf Stream, will get weaker due to global warming because the Nordic seas get diluted with fresh water from the melting ice, and that makes the water harder to sink down, and so the whole system will likely slow down. There is an up to 10% risk of abrupt changes in those ocean currents. That's what the IPCC report says, but we can't predict those with any confidence. So it's one of those risks of surprises that we still have in the system. And indeed, in the Earth history, there have been very abrupt climate shifts due to shifts in ocean circulation. That's how we know that this is quite unstable, the system. But one thing you got confused, these are not global changes. They are regional to the North Atlantic, because what the ocean currents do, of course, is if you think of that energy balance that I showed, they don't feature there because they only redistribute heat from one place to another. So in the global mean, they have no effect on the global temperature. They have an effect on regional temperatures. I think we have to wrap it up.
I'm very sorry, we have to stop this now. It's a really, really interesting topic. I think maybe you'll stay here for a few minutes afterwards. So
okay,
you might come up here and talk directly. Thank you very much for this talk. I think this is worth a big applause. I think you all should.
Thanks.